How's it going, everybody? DJ K DuB Omaha, Wired Access Podcast with the All Access Granted.
I didn't want that to be the standard. I didn't want someone else in the room to set the standard. I always wanted to do that.
The journey to get there, I think, is something, that is amazing, Nick.
Let's get this podcast started.
That's right. That's right. Welcome to Wired Access, All Access Granted. I'm your host, DJ K DuB Omaha, and this is live. We have my guest here, Brandon Stewart of New Dawn Nutrition, all the way out in Cali. How's the weather out there?
Cali is amazing, just like I thought it would be. It's sunny, it's beautiful. If you can get a little bit of a glimpse of the background right there, it's great. It's wonderful. I love it here.
Well, if you're watching and you're seeing it, you could see why we have him here on the show. We have his actual magazine cover, but this is more than a magazine cover. This is a childhood dream now turned into reality. This is surreal, probably bigger than words moment for Brandon and everything that he's worked for. And for those that don't know, Brandon's not young in the game. He's been in the game for a while and he's got a lot of good accomplishments, but he never gave up goals. And to be the spring edition of the Iron Man cover, congratulations. That's the first thing to say.
Thank you.
This is a journey that you've really worked towards. Years of discipline, sacrifice, consistency, probably early mornings, late nights, unseen struggles. I think that's huge in what you do. Because for those that might be watching will go, what is a big guy like DJ K DuB talking to someone that's just ripped at 50? Let's say that again, over 50 and ripped, right? I was talking to some of my coworkers and I'm like, man, we're like polar opposites, but we're not. It's just what we do through those struggles is different, and how we accomplish what we want to do. So I greatly appreciate you wanting us to do this episode on something that's major for you. And I think you and I have grown close. For those that don't know, Brandon Stewart is a former Omaha Beef player, but he's also their special teams coach. I got to know him the past 3 years, just being around the team and doing what I do for their media. But what he did is he's always had the heart even for the team, whether he was a part of it, whether he's a partner or whether he's a part of it this year, as he got to do something very special at the beginning of the year, kick some field goals and put his name amongst the record books, even in that fashion of never letting himself be told no. Many people lose their dreams early, especially in football. They always say, not forever, it's something that but Brandon, your story starts so long ago, when it comes to your heart, your passion, your drive, and, your family, had a business and a restaurant that you helped run a long time ago. And, you learned a lot of things from family. You learned probably some of your strong attributes. What do you remember about young Brandon and some of the things that you learned from your family and what it meant to be who you were?
First of all, thank you. Yes, I'm really honored for the friendship and everything that we've made over the many years. I know we got to meet each other on the field and we get to talk a lot. And over the time that we've got to meet, I really appreciate your candidness, your friendship, and what you bring to the game, and just really appreciate the conversations that we have offline as well. Those are probably the most important ones what we have. So I just want to say thank you for that. To address your question, growing up with a family that really, I would say, I'm not.
Technical difficulties. Hold on here. That California technical difficulties. Let's see if we can get them back here. Brandon, you're frozen. If you can hear me. Technology is something that doesn't always go how you always want it. We'll work through the trouble here. Yeah, I lost you for a moment. It got all. You can stay like that, Brandon. You're all right. Whatever works best and easiest. If you want to go straight up and down. Oh, we lost him. Well, I mean, those that can see. This is a guy who not only created an atmosphere for success for himself, he created a passion that many people wish they can have. But then to do it at such an age as him. Are you there?
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and try turning it upside. See if we get a better picture. It keeps pixelizing yourself. That's a little, oh man.
There we go.
A little better. Oh man. A little better. It's rough, but we're gonna go. So we got you thanking me for the conversation outside of here. And then right as soon as you went in that to answer the question, boom, it shot you gone.
Just okay. So to get back to the question you asked about, what my family as a young Brandon, what I've got to see was my family had built a very, very successful and just an amazing restaurant in Omaha. And growing up around that atmosphere and being a part of Ross's Steakhouse, and as a young guy that went with his mom on the weekends, and I grew up with a nanny. I mean, I had a nanny for quite a few years of my life, from third grade all the way until I went to live with my dad to spend time with him, just to give him part of my high school years. But it was the grind life. My mom was relentless. I mean, she was at the restaurant, almost 24/7. I mean, and that's what made it successful. I mean, she really had a commitment to the people that she served in Omaha, as my grandparents did, Ross and Josephine. So, growing up and seeing that, you're young and you don't know that because you're just like the time. But as you get older, you really realize, like, the commitment that she had and what she was trying to, not only do for her family, like, us and my other brothers and everything, but to really continue on the legacy that my grandparents had really kicked off for her through the late 80s, all the way through 97, when my mom sold the restaurant and the property and everything down there on 72nd. So, watching my mom, she was a boss. I mean, she was just relentless. She was strong. She was kind, but she was stern, and she really just when she just had it all together. She was an amazing woman.
For yourself growing up, and you look back to sports, what was the options that Brandon had? I mean, it's not always easy when mom's working her tail off for her to make sure, especially if you look around nowadays, like so many kids are lucky and they don't even thank their parents for it, with multiple sports, multiple times.
Yeah.
What was kind of your sports growing up all the way through high school?
Well, so that my mom did have a second mom. Her name was Sharon. She was
Hold on a second, Brandon. It's kicking you.
there.
Hold on, I'll tell you. Man, are you on their Wi-Fi or are you on yours right now? Can you tell?
I'm on mine right now. The Wi-Fi is kicking me further.
Are you able to jump on theirs or no?
Yeah. Let me do it real quick.
All right, you're good. Just trying to get you the
Let
best.
me jump on it.
We get real quick. We appreciate everybody patience through technology. I mean, this is a great platform. It's a option of availability, but also technology can make or break you. So we're gonna put him on their Wi-Fi. He was trying a few things, and for those that are just joining, we have Brandon Stewart, who is on the cover of Iron Man magazine. And for those who don't know, I mean, you've seen great legends like, Arnold Schwarzenegger on there. You've seen, one that we're going to hopefully get to talk to, and talk about, his influences, his legacy to Brandon and Frank Zane. And we'll get him back on here. I appreciate those who have tuned in for a moment and tuned out. We totally understand. Technology is crazy. It's not always easy. And of course, let's see here. Let's add him to it. Let's see here. There we go. Wow.
Okay.
Shoot, dude, you are stunning now. I'll be able
Okay.
to clean this up on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Anyways, we were talking about sports for you growing up.
Okay. Yeah. So the options for sports for me were, I came from a pretty athletic family with my brothers. My oldest brother was a Nebraska State pole vaulting champion. My other brother, Ty, was an amazing soccer player, select with Gladiator and team, it was called Club USA. And then he was also just a high school All-American place kicker for West Side until he went on college. So my options were to kind of really kind of follow after my brothers, who Ty was the one I really kind of looked up to, because I wanted to emulate that soccer and that kicking background. So I mean, I went through the ranks of just soccer and any option of sports in middle school and high school, but mostly football and soccer.
And you think back to then, what was your weight room regiment for yourself? When, like, did you know it at a high school level? Obviously you won't know what you know now, but were you back then in the weight room like you are now? Was that a thing for you?
So, I go back to these memes that you see on Instagram and stuff like that, and it says has these clips of like Commando and Rambo and First Blood and all these things like that, and it says, if this is what the motivation was in the 80s and 90s, and I looked up to that. I mean, you just see these guys that are just these muscular guys, and you're like, that's what you want to grow up to be. And you see Jean Van Damme in Bloodsport, and you're like, man, that guy's the most ripped guy ever, and you just want to be like that. So, in middle school, I think we tinkered a little bit and stuff, push-ups and punching the bags and kicking everything karate you possibly could to be Chuck Norris or whatever. But it more so was, I got really into it when I went to live with my dad. I think when I went to live with my dad, the game changed for me as far as um, really my life course, and what, I kind of discovered what my passion was, and where I was going to really fit, and what my calling was. Although it was football, but he introduced me to, a high school kid that goes in his dad's closet you're not supposed to go into, and you see this stack of magazines, and they're Muscle Media and Iron Man magazine and Muscular Development and Men's Fitness, and he had these stacks, and I just saw these statue of men and women on there, and I just knew right away. I'm like, I want to be like that. And from high school,
Here's the thing: a kicker normally don't go for that. Like, kickers are like, sweet, I get to just go in for my few plays. I get to do my thing.
Right.
None of them wants to be ripped and want to be the man like that. So you get in those magazines, you dig deep. Who's some of the first people you remember on those magazines?
Oh gosh, some of the guys that I just looked up to, of course, Frank Zane, by far my idol. Just the aesthetic physique, cut from granite, just a statue figure, looked like a Greek god. And then you had guys that back in the Muscle Media days, like Clark Bartram, who I've got to talk to quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be out here this weekend at his show. Bill Davey, Mike O'Hearn, Tito Raymond. I mean, and then you've got Arnold, of course. And then you look up to those guys, and even you look like Lou Ferrigno. Some of the guys that were just so big. I mean, you looked up to Lee Priest, Nasser Al Sabatini. These are all great guys. Kevin LeBron, just guys that were just these aesthetic freaks. Flex Wheeler. There's so many guys that have just really paved. And I, every time that I was at a store, and when magazines were even at their height, I couldn't wait to buy them all and just sit there and just nerd out and just look at them all and read that thing from cover to cover. If I could just get any pieces of information and apply it to, what I was doing, that was it.
When you looked at those magazines and you're reading it from cover to cover, what's some of the things that come to mind for you that you're pulling from it? Because I'm guessing in those things, it's probably most of the good things about these athletes. I don't know if it maybe gets into the detail of some of the mental things that they go through, some of the things that they battled. Was it a little bit of both? What was it like for you?
So, back then, I think that was kind of the taboo, and it wasn't the norm to really talk about that stuff back then, because it was all trying to, present a positive image, positive vibe. So, and consumers probably didn't want to really see that back then. We're more so now, we're so real and everybody wants to know like the real. And back then it was just, talking about, I take protein, creatine, and we all know that there's a lot more that goes into it. So it's not just protein and creatine. It's not the Hulk Hogan, take your multivitamin, say your prayers, and, let's go, brother. There's a lot more involved. And there's documentaries now that, matter of fact, I've got to become friends with one of the guys that did Bigger, Stronger, Faster, and when he really came out with that documentary, I don't know if you've had a chance to see it. It really just exposed the whole industry about, the supplementation, drugs, just the whole thing about, you know, athletes, bodybuilders, what it took. I mean, like everything. It was mind blowing. I mean, but they really it was a game changing documentary for the fitness and bodybuilding world for sure.
What made you want to keep with that part of your life and still ingrain it with your being able to play football beyond high
Yeah.
school?
So you're right. There's two different mindsets in to become a fitness enthusiast, a bodybuilder, a physique guy. It doesn't really mesh with the football mentality because it's a different training method. So my years of football early when I was trying to get in, back into, had some NFL tryouts, which was great. I met with a lot of coaches, John Harbaugh, um, Holmgren, just a bunch of guys when I had camps out in LA and um, open tryouts. That vibe of being, a ripped up guy. I mean, I was always in great shape. But I was playing football. I mean, I graduated college at over 215 pounds. So and I went to the one of the NFL tryouts and I did 225 29 times and everybody was in shock. They're just like a kicker does not do
Dude,
225 pounds 29 times. And
there's
I remember a couple.
linemen that might not be able to do that. Come on, man.
It was insane, and they said we didn't have to do it. It's almost like you don't have to run the 40. But I wanted to say, hey, listen, I'm a guy that's in the gym. I'm putting in the effort. So for kickoffs or punts, somebody comes back that I was there. So I knew that when my time was done in football and I exhausted everything I could to either try to make it a career and make a lot of money, because those days of football money were of the golden times of Arena One, Arena Two was very good paying when I was playing with guys like Brett McNair, Frank Costa from Miami. These guys when I played with the Florida Bobcats and a bunch of guys in the Peoria Pirates and also down in Birmingham Steel Dog. These guys were ex-NFL guys and we're still getting paid pretty good. And we had condos. But I knew if it wasn't going to be my path, I didn't want to be doing that my whole life. I went to college for a reason to use my degree. But I also told myself that when football is done, I'm going to chase another passion because um, that's what I do. I mean, I've always been somebody that just wanted to go after something. If I threw the flag out there, I wanted to go chase it. And sometimes in good or bad, when you do that, you have blinders on and you look at nothing but to really chase and to get that goal. And that's what separates people from good to great is when you can really just, it's like the blinders on a horse when they go down the track, they see nothing but the front of that and what's in front of them. And I would say that people that are great and have done great things, they put that on, they wear that.
Where do you think that drive came from for you?
Wow, you're gonna get into the deep. You're digging deep on this one.
Well, I mean, you
I
can't
know. I
you
mean,
can't be dedicated like you are and just think that it just happens. Like you said, everybody wants a, yeah, man, this dude just sits here,
yeah,
takes this, does this, does this. No, there's deeper people who
yeah,
push you and of course, and make you who you were and who you are today.
yeah. And I think this is a conversation I haven't had with many people, and if I did, it would be either my family or somebody. But I think what drove me is, my mom uh, was very close to one of my brothers, and my brother he's a great guy and he just athletically was gifted and stuff like that. So it was one of these things that it was yeah the doing this, like Ty was great and he'd get all these accolades, and so trying to live up to that, it pushes you to really trying to like say, hey, I'm here too, like I have value. And so some of those things that like, for me, it was like, I need to prove to my mom, I need to prove to that, that I can do the same thing. I can do this. I can go a step above and beyond. Those are things that kind of really pushed me. I mean, I just really wanted to set myself aside and get, seek affirmation, which is crazy, right?
Well, and especially now, I mean, everything that you've done, you tribute to your parents looking down on you. And
Yeah.
you and I both know they're very proud of the man that you became, not
Thank
just
you.
for this achievement, but for the work ethic that you continue to show from what you learned from your mom. I think
Yeah.
sometimes those get forgotten because either like my mom was a housewife, but the things that she did, I now reinforce with my wife when she feels she don't do enough. And I'm like, there is so much that they hold down that we don't do. And
Yeah.
especially, what I do. I mean, you learned more these past couple days than you've
I
ever
have.
learned. I mean, for those
Absolutely.
that don't know, and I'm just as busy as Brandon. And this is where I got to find my even kill because I lose my drive for the gym because I am so busy in life
Yeah. Yep.
between DJing, between 3 podcasts, between beef stuff. I own a lawn company going on my 10th year. I've DJed for 14 years. I've dispatched live fight helicopters, and I still do all that. But I still try to push to my wife that even though you don't work that part, what they do pushes me to be who I am. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be who I am.
Yeah.
And that goes all the way back to my mom as well, because there was 4 boys. Who the heck wants to raise 4 boys at home and not have an outside life? Like,
Yeah.
that's like, those are things that I think, like you said, you don't say it to people because not everybody has those people that they can look up to in that fashion, whether it is
Yeah.
a wife, significant other, a mother, a sister. Now, when you look at other people that inspired you and you look at some of those athletes, I know one legend was you talked about was Frank Zane.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing that you really inspired from him? And where did you get your first inspiration from him? And how did you continue to follow what you were seeing?
You know, aside from just the look that he brought to stage and the symmetry that he was able to create and again put everything together in just this physique that just was, like I said, Greek godlike. What really I admire about Frank, and when watching his documentaries and reading his books and all these different things like that, I mean, the guys of that era, we call it the golden era of bodybuilding, right? This is these guys that just were in the gym, shoeless, I mean, drenched in sweat, reps after reps, high volume training. They didn't have they didn't have the supplementation like we do today. We talk about even the drug that things that are in the world today. They didn't have any of that. These guys went in there with the mindset of that's what they did. They wanted to be great. They wanted to be the best of what they did. They wanted to own that. And Frank, who, maybe not as, boisterous or as a public image like Arnold. Arnold was a personality. Even when he was a bodybuilder, he was great. He would psych you out. He did it to Lou Ferrigno and Pumping Iron. It was crazy. But he did it to a lot of guys. But, Frank was, he said that he was like, that didn't get videoed that much when the documentary came out because he's like, I just wanted to go in there. I wanted to go in the gym. I wanted to train. I wanted to get it done. And, the guy, multiple, Olympia champion, but he beat guys that are, mass monsters at 215, 220 pounds plus at 180, under 183, 186, and just killed him with symmetry and fullness and just the aesthetics that makes bodybuilding exactly what it is. And that's that golden era. That's the 80, 90 guys, and even some of the early 2000, those were the guys that just, I mean, it's unmatched even today. I mean, it's insane.
Well, when you look at that icon for you, I mean, what was the integrity that you took from him and you were able to use, and now you're sharing the space with icons like that now?
So the first time I heard that, when I did the interview for the magazine, and they're like, what was it like? And I said I looked up to him and him and him and the contributor that was doing the edit, the the writer, was like, well, what's it like to be him? I go, I don't really understand. I'm trying to, sometimes I'm clueless with it, trying to be humble. And he's like, well, now that you are here, now you're him, where people will look up to you. And it literally hit me in the stomach, like, just like, I mean, like a sucker punch. And I go, you know what? I go, um, it seems surreal. Do I feel like it's not real? Because I love it so much. It's not an ego thing. It's not a narcissistic thing. It's not like there's an intention to use this for whatever somebody might do with this. It's such, I mean, my parents would be looking down. My dad, I don't talk about my dad a lot because he just was a supporter. My dad was a big dude. He was like, he would remind me of like Grizzly Adams as a kid. He was 6'3",
Did he have a
6'4".
beard?
He
Because
had a
Grizzly
beard.
Adams had a
Oh,
beard.
he had the guy's hands, my dad's hands, and just were just nuts. And he was, yeah.
So
I mean,
he had the TFers. For
he
those
had
that
the,
don't know, TFers is Twinkie fingers. Their fingers
yes,
are so big, you put them up to your hand, and you're like, yeah, dang. I have
I
a
was
couple
like,
friends. Like
yeah,
some of our linemen for the Omaha Beef, put your hand up to theirs. Let me
yeah,
know how that is.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was no, if he had a ring on, that's more of a bracelet. Okay, I mean, that's what it was. I'm like, thing is just a tank. But he was just large in life, and he was a power lifter, and he was always there. My dad, when I went to live with him in high school, my mom hated it, right? The reason I did that is I felt like my parents were divorced when I was 5. But I was close with them both. So it wasn't a pick sides. So I was with my mom all the years, but I just knew that I needed that dad time, that father figure in my life, from my freshman year. And it was probably the most impactful decision I've ever made in my life to go live with my dad, because he taught me man things. And he also taught me what it was like to, stay at home by yourself when you're a freshman in high school, and not be scared that somebody's going to break in your house and kill you. Or, I don't have to sleep with steak knives or baseball bats underneath my bed anymore. And what changed the
The
game,
boogeyman ain't real, right?
no, the boogeyman ain't real. And he's like, here it is. It's just, and I grew up, and from that, I just changed. I mean, I remember I came back my sophomore year after living with my dad from summer, working out, everything. My stepmom always made healthy meals. We didn't do fast food, didn't drink pop. And that's when it started rolling. I mean, I was eating Fiber One cereal and grape nuts every Saturday morning. And people, like, I think I ate it because I didn't want anybody to steal my food. Because I knew if I ate grape nuts, nobody was going to
Nobody
touch
eats them.
no, no, unless you're at a farm. And so I was like, but I loved it. And I rolled with it. And then I got into this fitness aspect of high school. There was a fitness team in Michigan, and I was one of 6 members. And I just, not only was I in love with going to the gym, but I knew that was my path, outside of with football. But I knew that when that was done, fitness would somehow come back to me full forward and be a very impactful um, game changer, which it has.
And for yourself, where was your brothers during this time? How were you able to separate yourself? How did this make you feel like this is my moment? Yeah, I'm with dad. What was that like for you?
It was really difficult. It wasn't accepted when I told my mom that I wanted to go live with my dad. She wasn't having it very much, but she uh, she was okay with my decision, and she's like, this is your decision. And but once you go, right? It's not going, because that was Michigan. I went to high school right outside Detroit. And my brother, my oldest brother was good with it, because he went to live with my dad for a while too, because he wanted to spend time with our dad. My other brother was just, unfortunately, just really close to my mom, and there was some strange things between him and my dad. So he didn't really, he didn't care for it. He just was like, it was what it was.
Yeah.
But I think my mom knew deep down, even though she didn't want me to go, that it was probably the best decision for me, because it taught me to grow up and be the man I am today. Living with my dad was definitely it a lot of family things we did, a lot of things with my grandparents, his parents. So there's a lot of family connections that I did with my dad that invaluable in my life. And my dad he was a great man.
Well, the best part is you would never have been on this magazine, or who knows who you'd be, where you'd be, maybe not even with the beef. That's just it.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like, I know I am blessed because I was actually kidnapped at a very young age, to where the people who adopted me became my parents and they were my aunt and uncle. I would not be who I was if they did not do that moment, because the other side of my family that would have been or could have been, woo, we lost him. Oh boy. Come on, Brandon. Come back. There we go. But the family that would have taken me or that I would have lived with was nothing but poverty driven. And who knows where I would have been. Like this would not have happened. So like when you talk about the dad moment, like I know for that fact I would not be who I was if that moment didn't happen at the age of 4.
Yep.
So having it happen at a high school level, the change of life,
Yep.
you know, when did the dreams of what you wanted to do and the passion and consistency start really turning for yourself?
You know, I would say just through high school, knowing that I wanted to succeed, as you know, as a kicker. I wanted to, you know, I just there wasn't a time that I just let off the throttle. I was like, I'm gonna do this. I want to go here. I want to be great in college, right? I want to do things. I want to set records. I want to stand apart and do something just like with my brother. You know, it was like I want to do those things, and I would say there wasn't a time that when I was playing football, uh, that even on vacations or whatever, I didn't have a football with me, or and if I didn't have goalposts, I would go kick at a telephone pole or I'd go kick at a light pole. I don't care how call it, just I would just do it. And you know, it it just really molded me as like the dedication and the drive and the work ethic that it took to say, hey, you know what? Um, talent and is great, but hard work and doing something you know, on the repeat always produces some insane results, and then you figure it out and you really just polish that craft. And you know, in college I just you know, my coach believed in me. I had a great college coach. He gave me the platform to showcase my talents, and it just he let me just be who I was, and he believed in me, and I'm so close to that man still today. I talk to him like crazy. I get to go back to my college for alumni weekend that I'm the featured alumni person in their this keynote thing coming up, and I tell you what, the guy and he's super close, super close with me still.
You brought up a lot of what you were doing. When you think of that and you're thinking of who you are when no one's watching matters the most.
It does.
How did you learn that aspect for yourself? Who helped you ingrain that into you?
You know, I had the mentality of this phrase, and it was something that is coined more now on Instagram when you see all these motivational videos and stuff come up. But you know, no one is coming to save you, right? Nobody is coming to do it for you. Nobody is going to force feed you the healthy foods. Nobody's going to go do the weights, and you're going to go ahead and just by osmosis get all the benefits from somebody else going out there and doing it for you. So my philosophy is get off your ass and just do it. If you want something, you have to do it. I don't care if it's going to the gym. If you want to look better, you have to change your food. You have to change your diet. There's so many lies out there. And what I'm happy today is that I can bring that to the forefront and give people good information of really how it works. But for me, I mean, doing all the work behind, you know, the curtain, it's the Wizard of Oz. You know, we see the green guy and he's, oh my gosh, so powerful. You go to the curtain and he's in a, you know, he's in a burgundy suit, old dude, pulling ropes and talking through a megaphone. I wanted to be the guy that was, when I first started my company, you know, 7 a.m. till 8 o'clock at night, shut down the store, go over to the gym behind there till 11:30 at night, get the gym in. But I was competing, and then I go home by midnight, go back get my dog, and then I'm back there 1 o'clock. I go to bed, and I'm back there for years and years straight. And you know, people look at that and they're like, you know what, it'll last a couple months, and then you do it a couple months, and they're like, you know what, it'll last a year, and then you beat that year, and then you're like, well, and then people actually stop saying anything, and they're like, damn, it's I'm just impressed about how long you've been doing it. And it's not because of I'm trying to prove something. It's because I love it. Because I truly, truly love the lifestyle. I love the way I feel. I love being able for kids and at the gym that are 20 years old to come up to me like, dude, holy moly. And I tell them my age and everybody just freaks out. It happened today.
Bro,
Funny story.
you told me you were 50 and I was calling cap. I was calling cap. I mean, that is the blessing that I do have, is a lot of people think I'm in my 30s, and I appreciate all you guys, but I'm in my 40s and I have kids that are as old as some of the players that we talk to. So like they don't understand that, but I'm okay with that. That's why I DJ and that's why I do this stuff, because people are
Amen.
like, this dude's young.
Yeah.
When
I
you
mean,
think of-
you're
Go
young at
ahead.
heart too. You're young at heart. You've got that. You got to, like, same with me. Like, we talk on a level that people are like, man, I mean, I don't ever think of my age. I think of it, yeah, it is what it is, but that's not how I feel, and lucky for Amazon, they got all those good creams and all that stuff like that, man. It's all the cream.
The patch cream.
It's it.
You talked about some of your wins on the journey and all that. What's some of the struggles as well? I mean, I know even for myself, not even including the gym, it's hard to have a personal life like with a significant other. How has that been for you, and how do you, readjust yourself, or how do you find, yourself through those struggles? Because it's not easy, because owning a business, like you said, where you're up, I mean, dude, I'll get up at 3 to 4 in the morning just to do billing, just so I don't have to take time at night when I'm with my wife. Like those are the things that people don't understand. Like how early you get up or how late you stay up.
That's
It's
right.
hard.
I think a lot of people, when they see they own a business and they think that, it's just this, and it can be, and I'm not trying to discount that, but they think it's just a windfall. Oh, you own a business and it's just millions of dollars and all these things like that. They don't see the time, uh, the bills, you don't get to shut it off. Like, before I owned my business, I was a very successful sales rep for one of the best dental companies in the world, and I loved the company. If it wasn't for some situations on that side, it wouldn't have driven me to start my own company. Which, again, I call it. It was God's timing, and it was a call, and I answered that call. And my mom was like, "Why? What are you doing?" She's like, "You're leaving a high six figure job with all these things, and you've been there for so long." And I told her, I said, Mom, I believe in this. I believe in this. And I saw when I started the product line, it was crazy. And I said, and I turned it to her and I said, well, you own a business. And she said, fair enough. And she's like, I support you. And she's like, and then that first year it was insane. But, the thing that you go back on the relationship life, and I like that you answer the hard questions, especially the hard questions for me to talk about. Um, Career sometimes can be a relationship killer because you spend so much time to make it successful, you don't want to see it fail. However, sometimes the failure doesn't come on the financial aspect of it, it comes up on the personal side of it. I've experienced that, and it's oh God, man, you're making um um ah, it's difficult. Um because you're so driven, and when you have this drive and you have this desire to do something that nobody else has done in an industry, there are sacrifices, and sometimes those sacrifices come at an expense that you wish you would have been able to manage time better, um maybe have better conversations, um be a little bit more open to some, y- you know comply with, hey, maybe I could do this. But in the first part of years of a business, I don't care who you are, when you own a business and if you want it to be successful, you're married to that thing for the first 3 to 5 years, because most businesses fail within the first 3 to 5 years because of ownership neglect, time away, employees run gamut or whatever. But people want to rally around an owner because they want to know who they are, they want to feel comfortable, they want to be a part of something. So when I started New Dawn, I was more than just an idea. I wanted to build a culture. I wanted to build a family of people in Omaha like my parents did. So when they said the name, they felt good about it. And yeah, man, it's costing me some relationships. I was in my first relationship I was engaged, and um, she's a an amazing woman, and she's very successful today, and and she has got an amazing family. And there was things in that, being working so much and time, and just not listening, not listening. So high drive and wanting to succeed on one side sometimes can cause demise in other aspects. And it took me a minute, to relinquish that. And I'm grateful still today for the path that I'm on, because if some of those terrible things didn't happen, you're right. I don't think, where would I be with being a two-time Mr. America? Would that have happened? Probably not. Winning the Olympia as a Masters pro and an Open pro 3 times, would that have happened? Maybe one or two of them, but the continued of where it's gone, for where my company's gone, it's just a path. And as hard as it is, nothing that is worthwhile is going to be easy. And so I went down that path, and it's the stony pebbles when your shoes are off in a lake and you're walking across, and it hurts like a son of a bitch, right? Because you're like, but you still got to get across the river.
Yeah, and especially with the business where there's so much competition.
Yeah.
And when I mean competition, like, so for me, I have competition,
You're right.
right? With lawns, I have competition. I have competition with DJs, but for me, I don't feel it's competition because there's enough people out there. But for you, if your message isn't right, if your product isn't right, tested, approved, and follow up with, if all that
Visit.
stuff isn't right,
Yeah.
nothing becomes of it, and for someone like yourself, who even talked about the people that you surround yourself that come and are a part of New Dawn Nutrition, it's just like K&K. We're not 5 stars for nothing. I've had the same crew for pretty much 6+ years of my 10 years, because they had drive outside of it, because I told them I didn't want, it's not a full-time job. It's something that helps me so I could do A, B, and C, and D and enjoy life. It's things that we love. So like my last interview was with my foreman, who's an umpire. And this year he was recognized as umpire of the year for his district. And it's like seeing those drives from it. So he helps do what we do, where we're 5 stars with being accountable, being someone that you can count on, takes it to his own thing outside of it. And those are the things that you love seeing. And of course, with New Dawn Nutrition, you're able to see that with the team that you guys have brought together and developed, and talk about that family and how that helps you. So when you do go for this outside of the competitions that you've won, because it's not just the Ironman cover, there is so many more and so much more to you and what you've done. It makes it where you can do it with pride, because back home you still have the right things happening.
You're right. It's the cover encompasses so many more things than just being, the picture and what it is and the physique built. It's the inside pages of the interview talk about so much more about, like, how, like you said, how this developed. And it's really, there's a lot of guys that are blessed to get a lot of covers, like, my friend Clark Bartram and Mike and those guys, multiple, but sometimes it takes a moment in time for an individual, for God's timing. And then I'll tell you what, and if you stand that test, and you believe in what you do, and you have the right intentions, it just takes time if you really still stick to it. And that's the thing, that if I could just drive any point home, it's that, I've been doing this forever, and it's never wavered. And that, I think, my customer base and my friends, my fans, people that know me, people that know me from the beef games and all these things like that, is that they know that it's not me talking the talk, it's walking the walk, and showing that I live this lifestyle, not only because I'm trying to get, it's because I love it, and I want to inspire other people by saying, hey, listen, I didn't have the greatest genetics. I mean, my dad was a big dude. He wasn't ripped. My mom was, a short Italian woman, right? My mom was heavy set. My mom was a big lady. And then she had, the gastric, of course, later in life. And My grandparents, my grandma was a teeny little woman. She was in the most, I mean, she beat Chuck Norris. I mean, she was spicy. But everybody else in my family, no fitness. The bodybuilding thing that didn't exist. So people are like, why? And I'm like, I I just answered the call. I felt what was right in my head, and I felt what was right with my heart. And when I go to the gym and I do that, I can't explain. It's like a runner's high, but I get the endorphins from the lifting high, and I get there, and everything from my day is better. Brandon is a better person. I have clarity. I have peace. I feel like if I have anything going bad, I can go to the gym and it takes care of it for me. Um, some people don't get it. It's like with food. People celebrate with food. I am not the person that just can't wait just to celebrate with food. I grew up with Italians, so listen, epic Sunday breakfast. If we couldn't leave the table if there wasn't like fried onions and prime rib and waffles and pancakes and cereal, and if you didn't eat it, you sat there. So I was like, damn. So, I don't know. I guess it's just like I wasn't trying to prove anything. I was just trying to be who Brandon is and and never put up a face, a face in front of somebody. Like when I tell people I really love it, they know it. They're like, you do love it. And after 20 years of competing in football, it's like I still love it. And the things that are presenting themselves at 50 years old to be on the cover of this iconic magazine that I mean, the space I'm sharing with some of the greatest people ever to be on the cover is absolutely mind-boggling. Like I think I had the weirdest dance when it came out. I'm not a great dancer, but I did some weird shit. I did some weird shit and it probably looked weird. I jumped up and down. I felt I had butterflies forever. And I got in my car and I had a moment. I mean, you know what? I'm okay. I'm a crier. Big deal. I'm a crier. But I wear my emotion because it's real. Like I just, and that's that moment. And I did it not only for my parents, but it was for everybody else that has been so kind and supporting and gave positive feedback. And when things didn't feel right, I didn't want to be at the gym. I'm down to X amount of calories. I'm at 3% body fat. It sometimes just takes one conversation in the gym. And I tell you what, it relights the wick. And I will go right up to him and say, thank you for that. I needed that today. You really, thank you. Or, today I check in the hotel and the baseball team from the University of Hawaii was there. And when these guys came over and they're like, dude, you know, what do you do? What do you eat? How are you so lean and stuff like that? I was talking to them and they start following me. And we were talking about how they just got beat by UCLA and then they were going to play because UCLA is, I guess, number one in the country right now in baseball. And I had conversations with these, 19, 20-year-old kids and we all connected. And it was just the coolest moment. Like I just had a moment. I'm like, that was cool. I walked out to my car to get my luggage. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Right
I'm
place,
like,
right time, right?
yeah,
I mean, I had that conversation with you. Like, nowhere in my DJ career did I ever think, throw your political stuff aside, okay?
yeah,
But nowhere in my life did I ever think that I would DJ for Hulk Hogan and then
yes,
also give my wife, who that was her once in a lifetime opportunity to meet this guy that connected her with her dad for the longest.
oh,
Like,
that's cool.
right place, right time, right moment. And you're like, I haven't done nothing except for be me.
Yeah,
Just like I was granted thanks to the Omaha Beef for announcing a Husker, Tommy Armstrong, to be a part of their Hall of Fame.
yeah.
They could have
Joins
asked anybody to do that. Ricky was right there. He could have just said,
it.
he gave me the opportunity because it was right place, right time. And when you think of your passion plus your consistency, the power that comes from it is crazy. It's not a matter of I have went out of my way to do something besides what I know I'm passionate about. The consistency of everything that I do, and it turns into those powerful moments when you think back through your time and you look at everything that you've done. What are some of the major points of passion and consistency that has led to the power that you have led yourself to be who you are today?
you know, um, I think what's led me to where I am today is just 100% just following my heart and what I want to do in this world and what I want to do in this life. You know, like you said, it's everybody has this idea, and you know, I just I'm a, I'm always a student. You know, people are like, "Oh my gosh, you know, I would love, you know, you're a master at this." And I said, "You know what? Aside from that, and I appreciate the compliment, but I've learned from the greatest from the past. I'm not who I am today, and my career isn't today if it wasn't for other great people that I took pieces away, right? I love learning. I love getting to know things about what I can maybe do better because I'm never too bold to say that, you know, I know everything. Um, I think when you just that moment when things really kick in is like when people come up to you, you have no idea who they are in your hometown, like in Omaha. I'll be at the gym and I'll get men and they're like, I heard you were the guy to talk to, and I just really want to get my life better. I want to feel better. I want to talk about supplementation and those I would say are probably the biggest compliments because these people are trusting you. They trust you because of your opinion of what you've done, and it's not some fake in behind the lines thing that you know cropping on this or there's no filter. They're live right with me right there.
It's not
And
AI created.
no, and and you know what? When somebody comes back to me and they're like, you know what, that helped out so much. I feel so much better. I appreciate you, and you become. I feel like that's that's it. I think I'm there in to help people make better decisions and also to put them in the right path and to make them have a better lifestyle to go down something like I did. You know, traveling, like for instance, you know, and having my food in a cool meal container when you go and in a scale and people are like, well, you're going out there. I'm like, it's fine. You know, there's a reason for it. But if people understood the reason to get where I am at today and my physique and how I won these certain shows, there's prices to be paid and there's no negotiation on those. And I tell people, they're like, well, can I just go to Chick-fil-A maybe and just get some nugs? And you know what, we need to stop. I need to say this real quick. When can we start saying full words again with like this generation? Nugs. Can we just say nuggets?
You don't want those
It doesn't
saucy nugs?
listen, no. I mean, here's the thing. It doesn't take that much more air to say nuggets. Okay. So
Come on,
stop.
man. You don't want to LOL them? You don't.
Riz. Hey,
You don't want.
like no, man. It just blows my mind. I'm sorry, that was on my head. But you know, but people just want the real. And when I tell them the real, they're like, what did it take? I'm like, all right, here's what it is. You got to get a scale. What do you mean? I go, you got to get a scale. If you truly want to be in the best shape of your life and get to what you truly feel like people, it's not about always about a stage look. It's not people don't want to compete. That's a very small percentage. But if you want to be the best version of yourself, not only for you, but God gives us this one body. And I say this to everybody, and I'm not a holy roller spiritual. I'm very spiritual, but I just believe that we have this amazing thing called life. We have amazing thing that's called body, and this body can do so much. We can see it go from very super skinny, and we can see it go to super humongous, 1,000 pounds plus. And I'll tell you what, we're supposed to take care of it, right? We're supposed to take care of our families, our neighbors, and the things that are right in the Bible. And God gives us the body to do great things. You know, I might be doing great things on stage, but when I see people that are gymnasts and they can do launch off into a triple backflip and twist in the air and stuff like that, I'm like, listen, I'm, I maybe could do that if I practice it, but it's crazy to see what the body can do. And I'm amazed with it. I'm just a fan, and I just feel like when I can give people good information and help them on a better path and give them the real stuff versus like, oh, you know, you can have crumble cookie here and you can have this, and it just doesn't work that way. I wish it did. Trust me, make preps a lot easier.
I have to say, you know, one thing that I could say, and this is why I've never resorted to a surgery or
Yeah,
a shot or anything like that. And everybody each to their own. Do what you do.
yeah, yep,
But I've proven myself before a downfall of like right before 2021 when I lost my radio show, grandpa. Then the next year, you know, I let things pile up.
yeah,
I was the lowest that I've ever been in a long time, 265. Like, because I pushed myself, but you also have to talk about it. And the people around you, you got to talk about it. And even when they
yes,
don't want you to talk about it, they're going to get tired of you talking about it when it's a right thing of eating right, going to the gym or doing stuff like that. You can't
100%.
look at yourself in a negative way. Now, if they're going about it a different way and they just want to throw it at you and you're like, man, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's what makes it hard, because I know that I'm
100%.
busting my butt. And it was to the fact of where even one time I was refereeing at one of my lowest with my foreman, because he referees in the winter when we don't have snow. And he was like running with me, and one of the parents in the stands started talking about fat this, fat that, but fuck. He told him, if you only knew what this dude did.
Yeah.
Like, people have no respect for other people when they don't know what's going on the other side. And that's probably been some of your biggest strengths, is being able to, no matter what someone says about what you eat, what you do, you're still doing branding every time.
Yes.
But when it comes
Yeah.
to those struggles of seeing that food that you're Italian. Pasta is a must, and something
I
that
mean,
you probably
look
grew up with.
at this thing. Look at it. Look, I got that. Look at that. Look at that. That. I mean, I got my mom's, which I'm blessed. I love it. I love it. So I got that nice and straight
But
point.
how do you overcome that part when the food is or could be a drug against you?
It could. I think, food, again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but food means different things to different people. People celebrate with it. People find it as a coping agent. People find it they celebrate with food. In demise and sad times, it's with food, like, right, death, funerals, birthday parties, celebrations. Oh, let's go out and celebrate this, and it's always with food, and that's fine. I like good food. But I choose to do, if I'm gonna have something, I don't care. I'm not going to be peer pressured. That was one thing that I always turned off. I'm not going to be peer pressured by people by saying, you know what, why you can do this? Oh, you can have this one more bite. You can just do this. You can just stop. They're not on. They're not out there trying to. They're not paying my bills, right? They're also not attaining the goals I am. And I'm not asking them to. So I went through that whole thing. Was like, well, when can you have this? And it's like, it's not. It's if you support me, you'll understand. Sometimes, even in families, when people are on a weight loss journey, they're like, when are you going to give that up? When are you going to stop? And it bothers me to the core, because this person or somebody is trying to make healthy decisions, a lifestyle change for the better. But then you have those people that are enablers. And we see that on those TV shows, that, sometimes that when you are like yourself, and my friends that have businesses and are doing other great things, that when you start to set yourself apart and you start to do this and you start to go up, there are going to be anchors. And those people that are anchors, it's not because they're jealous. It's that sometimes they feel like less, or they feel like, you know what, maybe if you eat bad and I eat bad, then we're okay. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I've had to, you have to sometimes, unfortunately, cut those people out, because at the end of the day, if you stay true to what you believe in your heart and your soul and what God is bringing you to, and that's what you want to do, you will never be disappointed, because you decided to do what you wanted to do, as far as in a positive aspect, like on a weight loss journey, and like, oh, you can eat this. And people that do that, there's people that are just, unfortunately, negative. And when you're doing great things and you're building great business, like friends, when you're building a great business, I support my friends that are so successful. And when they have wins, or they get new companies, or they made a couple more $1 million, I'm not like, well, oh my gosh, I am so excited for them. I celebrate everybody's wins. And I think that's what we should do with our food goals, our fitness goals, our health. And now our health is everything. Health is wealth, right? So when somebody they should look at it and go, maybe I should make these changes. I don't care what your genetics are. You're not bound by that. I believe that you can 100%, if you want to do it. It might be harder. It might take a little more time. It might just hurt a little bit more, and more hours, just like with work. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Well, we'll get you out of here and wrap up with more of the magazine real quick. And I greatly appreciate you just setting the journey and hopefully getting to one person, one
That's right.
athlete, one parent, someone that might be struggling through their own things to understand that dreams don't expire.
Love it. You're 100%.
And when you think of this magazine, how does this all come about and how do you get involved with Ironman? How does this all come for you? This isn't your first magazine that you've been on. You've been on another magazine. At least I know of one I've seen. I could be wrong. There's probably more. But how does Ironman come to you? How does this all come in complete circle?
So, I've been on a couple of natural magazines that were more for the natural bodybuilding industry. To be on the cover of a nationwide, all over magazine that, again, people that I looked up to and people that set the pace and the tone and the inspiration for me, who got to sit at that table and be on this cover, and the ones that I looked up to, and I said Iron Man, and I have a collection of these magazines at home, and I put them literally into train track. I put them started from the beginning, and I scrolled down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and then it stopped on mine, and I'm just like, this is so surreal, but it's a moment that I share with. It's not just about me, it's about every single person from my football days, from growing up in middle school. This encompasses from day one that, day one, there was this kid, that changed. And people like even sent me messages from middle school and high school, and they're like, what the shit, dude? And I haven't talked to him forever. And I'm like, it's just, I never stopped dreaming. I never stopped knowing and believing in myself and the time it took. And what is the most surreal part about it is, like, when this went on Instagram and it went crazy and Iron Man shared it and friends, and it's been shared all over, I started getting those people that I told you about, like that look at, like, uh, fitness and figure women that were like amazing back in the day, and they now follow me, and they were like, great cover, great throwback look. And then some of those guys that, like, Frank Zane, when he sent me a message, when we were trying to get the cover together, and he's like, you have a great physique. I screenshotted that. I'm not kidding you. And I looked at that thing all night long. I looked like I'm like, Frank Zane sent me a message. Frank Zane sent me a message, because you're thinking, because people ask you, like, how do you nobody talks to those guys. And I'm like, it does, it happens. And I remember the first time that he had sent me a message when I was competing, and he's like, you have a great physique. I literally was like, I don't need to go to the show. I don't need to step on stage. I can just go, lightning hit me right now. I'm good.
I can hold up my phone and show you what it says.
Again, that weird ass dance that I do. I don't know what it is, but I was at Venice Beach doing it. I think it kind of fit in here to do it though. But it was like, it's like, I got the Jesus in me at that point. It was like, I just felt it.
How do you get on the Iron Man magazine? What is the route that you have to get to even be seen by that?
So I think it's through accolades, and I think through time and feats that you had accomplished, and shows what you've given to the industry over time, being just just a servant to the industry, but also knowing the dedication, and really my competing schedule was crazy. I can't tell you how many shows I've done since the early 2000s, but when you learn and you finally get to know your body, and you're good, and then you're better, and then you become great, and then your physique goes next level. And when I started winning the bigger shows like the Mr. America and the Natural Olympia, the Universe, and then the Mr. LA, and then these titles, they pile up. And you know what? It's like being a kicker. You kick so many 60-yard field goals. Guess what? You're going to get looked at. If you are out there and you're Brandon Aubrey hitting 64, 65s constantly, and a team's going to find you, and they want to know your story. They want to be with you. And so I say that with my fitness career, is that when you do so much and people are always receptive to your physique, and they just, and just being a good person, when you go to shows that you're not the guy that's just like looking at people past them because you think you're better than somebody else. I will take time to shake hands, give a hug, talk to, and always have a smile. And there's times that when I'm competing and, you're in that last week and you are just dead, right? And everybody wants to come talk because you're so ripped. Oh my gosh, dude. And then what do you eat? And then they want you to write a diet for them right there at the gym and a workout. And you're like, yo.
You're like, this week you don't want to know what I didn't eat. How about that? You don't want to know what I didn't eat or couldn't have. Okay.
But I'm still nice. And I think that's what it is. It's knowing that there is some stigma with the industry that sometimes people think that when you look a certain way or your body and all this, that you have to be some Jersey Shore meathead, arrogant, narcissistic guy. And, and it's not. And that's where even in the dating world, it's like, the cover draws you in, but the pages keep you, right? So if you get into the intro and you don't like what you're reading, you put the book down, but go ahead and get past the first chapter because the cover brings you in. I'll tell you what, the pages only write a better story. I promise.
Well, we'll get you out of here for the next kid chasing their dream. What do they need to hear from you right now?
If it was me as young Brandon talking to a young guy and just like sandbox talk, it's no matter what your dreams are, no matter what you want to do, no matter what you think that you want to be growing up, 100% don't let anybody derail you. Don't let anybody say you can't. Don't let anybody put negative thoughts in your head. If that's what you are called to, then chase that dream because you only get one life. And once this thing's done, there is no second chance. And I say this world is full of opportunities. Chase it with a passion. And like I said, sometimes you have to put those blinders on, but if it's worth it, it's worth it. And it's worth it.
Of course, you're on this cover, but it just provides more motivation for you. What's next?
So being here is a really good opportunity. I get to showcase this with some other past Ironman magazine athletes that we're going to be shooting content with, which I'm super excited. I'll probably have a little kid moments with that. So just so I'm going to try to hold together, but I'm just going to be like, just eek. And then from this is to continue to run my company, to keep building the brand. I'm part of some other businesses as well in Omaha. Actually, with one of a guy that we are so close now. When we were competitors, he's got a nutrition store in Omaha as well, and we're partners, and we are such good friends now. It's crazy. He's a great guy. He's got a great family. Tim Rexius. I partnered with him as an investor in the Omaha Protein Popcorn Company. I was blessed that he offered me the opportunity with some other great investors, and so it's continuing to bring great things out for people that they love, and going out and just being a steward. If I can, when I go out to Vegas and just meeting people, and if they have questions, I get to give them real information. I love being able to pass on good information to people and they get something out of it. And then if I impact somebody's life for the better, or somebody's son or somebody's husband, or even, a female that's trying on her journey, if I can make a difference in their life, that's a win.
Of course, the spring cover is out now, Ironman magazine, spring edition. You can order it via Ironman magazine online and at retailers. Make sure to check them out. New Dawn Nutrition here in Omaha. Make sure to check them out. And once again, Brandon, I appreciate the opportunity to share your story, get a little bit more in depth of what it takes to be someone that has become Ironman at the age of 50. And as it's always stated,
Let's go.
We reach one person, one parent, someone going through something that just needs that one deeper moment to realize you can stay raw, real. Just don't let your dreams expire. Right. Until next time, man, we'll catch up with you when you get back. Maybe do a short clip of all your experience and all that. Make sure to check us out. Wired Access, All Access Granted. You can find this series on Character Chronicles. That's right, Adam Carricker. We're a part of his network, characterchronicles.com. the StreamYard. Thank you again, as always, to the Omaha Beef. Make sure to come check them out this Saturday at the Slaughterhouse as they welcome the Dallas Bulls and hopefully catch their first win. Remember,
luck, fellas.
Also do the coaches show out at Goose's Bar and Grill for them. That's on Monday nights. Come say hello. And then Thursday nights for them, we do Primetime Beef Huddle, and there's a promotion for that here after that. Can't do it with everybody. You know, without them, I can't do what I do. So I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you.
The standard is the standard. We set the standard.